Friends, Namaskar. The Government of India has recently released the new National Education Policy. It has taken a couple of years of consultations, preparations before they finalize the policy and released to the public. It is a significant event, I think, because the last National Education Policy was released in 1986, and it is only right and fitting that after a gap of 3.5 decades, that policy was revisited and a new policy is drafted, keeping in view the needs of the time. One of the salient features of this new National Education Policy is focus on recapturing the rich Indian heritage, its diverse cultures, languages, and its past achievements. Probably these glorious past and its achievements have not been sufficiently highlighted in the present education curriculum. That may be one of the rationale behind the policy document mentioning the ancient great centers of learning such as Nalanda, Takshashila, and so on. In addition to that, the policy document also mentions Sanskrit as a great ancient language that enriched the past literature. However, friends, there remains one question, and what is that? The question is this: what percentage of Indians had access to education, much less to higher education? What percentage of Indians had the knowledge of Sanskrit? It's a common knowledge that only a minuscule section of Indian society had the knowledge of Sanskrit, and a very small percentage of Indians had access to education. And therefore the natural question arose: how can we universalize education? How can we bring education to the doorstep of common man? And that was possible only when schools, colleges, and universities were established. Friends, it is here that along with other communities, the Christian community also made some pioneering contributions. Unfortunately, their contributions have not been sufficiently highlighted, much less acknowledged in the policy document. I think magnanimity demands from us that we acknowledge the rightful contributions by any sections of Indian society. And the history of Indian education will remain awfully inadequate until and unless we also acknowledge the contributions made by the Christian community and its pioneers in India. Just to give you a couple of examples, Camille Bulke, a Belgian Jesuit missionary to India, made substantial contribution to the furtherance of Hindi literature. He was the first one to compile a Hindi to English dictionary, which is even today considered authoritative. Similarly, friends, you have Constantine Joseph Besky, who wrote Tamil classical literature. He was also the first one to write literary Tamil grammar, and people respect him so much because of his great devotion to the development of Tamil language. Similarly, you have Herman Gundat, who was the first one to compile a Malayalam thesaurus, which is considered one of the best sources to study Malayalam language. When you come to Kannada language, you have Ferdinand Kittel, who compiled a Kannada to English dictionary. He also wrote Kannada grammar. I can list a number of others, dear friends, who have made substantial contributions to the development of Indian languages. How can we ever forget William Carey? He was the first one to establish the Serambur College and the Serambur University thereafter, which was the first degree awarding university in India. Many other pioneers have established schools and colleges across the country, bringing education to the doorstep of the masses. Thank God, today we have hundreds and thousands of schools and colleges across the country, besides hundreds of universities that are providing education to the Indians. We still have a long way to go before our country becomes totally literate. And therefore, we need to continue these efforts to bring education to every citizen of this country. This policy document would have been more credible if only it had acknowledged the right contributions made by different communities, particularly the Christian community. However, I wish that this new national education policy be implemented in all its earnestness by all the stakeholders without any prejudice or favor. Thank you.